approached who about this week? Did you talk to Bill after the game last year? Did you guys talk at the owners' meeting? How did that work out?
I'm pretty sure that we reached out. You know, he's a guy that you always want to go against people that you respect, and obviously he's been able to bend the model of consistency in this league for a long time, and they've had a lot of success, and I think it's no secret, he's highly regarded as one of the greatest coaches of all time, so why not try to steal a little piece from how they do things and just get a closer look at it.
I know you've talked about Carrington a few times, but you look at the history of late round draft picks at that position. It's slow going, right? Kind of based on your experience, what's made him kind of stand out, maybe compared to some other guys who, a bunch of little young guys?
Yeah, I mean, every person's different. I think he's a guy that obviously has a lot of talent, and I think he's approached it the right way. I think G Money and Hoodie are doing a great job with him, and he's getting a lot of opportunities based on, especially with a guy like Stokes being out, and he's taking full advantage of those, and he keeps, every practice he makes a play. I mean, you guys saw at the end of the last practice we had, making that pick six, and he's super talented, and he's just maximizing those ops.
Grant Dubose had that long layoff when he's been back on the practice field a couple days. I guess, where do you think he's at, and what are your early impressions of what you've seen of him on the field?
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Grant, especially. You never quite know when a guy's missed that much time. I mean, we haven't seen him at all, any live exposure, and for him to be able to get in there in some situations, and we knew in the classroom he was really sharp. I mean, he was on top of everything, asking a ton of questions, and always reaching out to Vrabel. And I think Jason Vrabel does a heck of a job with that room. But he's getting in there and taking advantage of those opportunities as well. Just knowing what to do, playing fast, definitely has aggressive hands. So we're excited about him.
When you have a guy like Carrington, who's at a position where guys don't come off the field, right? I mean, like corners play all 70 snaps or whatever. And if he's not in your top three, do you have to somehow find a way to just get him on the field in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I think we definitely have to look at something, because he's done a lot up to this point. And again, he's got to keep progressing. There's still a lot of ball in front of us in terms of practices. We got 2 more preseason games, so we'll just see how he progresses. But up to this point, he's worthy of getting some snaps for sure.
We know what you like to say about the offensive line is the best 5, regardless of position.
Have I said that before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once or twice.
All right.
Is that the same way that you approach the secondary, or is that just too different between corner and safety? Do you have to get your best 5 out there?
You'd like to. I do think it's a little bit different in regards to it takes a very specific person, especially to play that nickel position. However, I do think he has some of those traits, and we'll just see kind of how it plays itself out.
Is that the same between corner and safety? Like if you've got someone that can drop back to safety and you got a lot of depth at corner, do you have to try to get him on the field?
I think that's certainly a possibility. Yeah, I think you could absolutely do that. I think there's different requirements, I would say, in terms of just coming up and fitting some of the runs, and just there's different responsibility, totally different position. Although they're all classified as defensive backs, I think the job criteria is a little bit different between a corner and a safety, and even a nickel.
Douglas do that, and have you considered moving him back there?
Yeah, potentially. I think just it's trying to find those best 5, I guess. We'd sneak that in there, but we're going to look at everything. We'll look at everything and try to put our best people who can make plays. And if Sewell's one of those guys, I certainly know we had Sewell obviously in there at the nickel position last year quite a bit. So he has a really high football IQ, and he understands the jobs of really everybody in the back end. But I think it's kind of we'll see where it goes.
Will Bakhtiari or Alexander do team today?
No David today. And Ja, we'll see kind of where he's at when we get out there.
Gary go tomorrow?
That's the plan, but we always know that that's a pretty fluid plan.
Matt, is Stokes ready to start doing anything yet?
No, he's not.
I've covered this before, but will you get time away from the field with Coach Belichick to sit down and walk through things, talk about things, learn, however that works?
Nothing's planned as of this moment.
Matt, before Samori got here, he had not really done returns in 5-6 years. What was it that you and Rich saw that made you want to try him out back there?
I think we go through all the guys, especially some of those skilled players, wideouts, running backs, some of the DBs, and you're just trying to find people who have a natural ability to catch the football, and obviously he's got great speed and he can make people miss. So it's just, and quite frankly, you're kind of looking at how you round out your roster and where people can bring other value than just their position group.
Matt, are you counting on Bill to do some blitzing in this, practices, or did you talk to him about it? Is that good work for Jordan? I mean, are you
Yeah, I have no idea what's coming our way. I mean, you got to be ready for everything, and that's part of the challenge. But I think you get a true indication of kind of where your guys are at in regards to knowing your rules. You watch tape, but any time that you've gone against a defense like this, you know it's a very game plan, predicated defense where they could throw a lot of different things at you, and that is a challenge, but one that we're excited for, and it's great to have that in a practice setting.
Is it more likely they'll do some stuff here than they would in the game on Saturday because
That's a great question for Bill and his crew. I have no idea what's coming. Personnel-wise, they could be, they've played with 7 DBs before. They could be a dime, nickel, base. I really don't know. But, that's why there is a little bit of game plan, I would say, that goes into practices in regards to, because you don't want to get out there and just put yourself in a really bad situation, having a play up that you can only run versus like a base defense, and they might be a nickel or penny or whatever they're in.
So I assume that's good for Jordan, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, it just goes back to how well does he know our offense. It's not just him. It's the 11 men out there. Just trusting your rules and playing what you see.
Matt, do you plan on having any one-on-ones between the lines?
No.
Nothing. And have you talked to you guys in light of some of the skirmishes in Cincinnati about holding their water?
Yes. You ever seen Peaky Blinders?
Of course.
You know when Thomas Shelby
I know
comes in and
exactly.
says no
So is
fighting?
that the kitchen scene, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right, very good.
Great show. Any up-downs for the loser today, or that one up?
No.
Hey Matt, where'd you think Hansen was last year, before he got injured, and just being able to get him back now for this stretch?
Yeah, I thought he was doing a great job last season, and it was an unfortunate injury, and he's missed a lot of time. But I think he's attacked it the right way and doing everything he can to be available.
More, please. When it comes to these joint practices, the second set for the second week in a row, what do you want your players to get out of these sets of joint practices with the Patriots?
Same thing we do every time we step out on that practice field. It's an opportunity to get better, and it's nice to compete against somebody else and where you get different looks and you don't know their personnel quite as well, what they like to do, and it really challenges you not only physically but mentally.
Matt, you've moved a lot of offensive linemen around to get that versatility, although it seems like so far Elton's basically stayed at left guard. Is there a desire to kind of just keep him there now?
Yeah, in a perfect world, that's what will happen, but we don't live in a perfect world all the time, and he's got to be ready to go anywhere, and that's the beauty of him. I think that he has experience, whether it's playing center or tackle, and you can move him all over the place.